Hey, and welcome to the Board Game Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Nick Angiers. Uh, I know, another solo episode, but just so you know, I am gradually switching over to a guest format where I'll be talking to a different guest each time. The first 20 or so episodes are all solo ones, just because well, to be honest, I'm really just learning the ropes of podcasting, and I think this is a good way that I can get lots of episodes out there quickly, and I can also organize my thoughts as well as give you a bit of background on how I got to this point so that you can better understand how I'm moving forward and how I plan to get there. And also for myself, it's good to go back and document and summarize things that happened in the past. But hopefully these solo episodes are at least a little bit interesting for you. They are quite interesting for me to do. And today I'd like to give you kind of a report of a Halloween-themed event that I did. This was for Codenames. So with all the virtual events going on this year, I decided to not do a physical event. I just made it completely virtual, and I chose to do a Codenames event because I thought it would work well with a Halloween theme. So all I did really was I found a list of Halloween themed Codenames words. There was one on Board Game Geek. So I downloaded that. I made 4 boards. So instead of making the cards and shuffling them, I just randomized them as I went in a board because I'm only going to use it once, right? So until the next year. Doesn't really matter. So I made 4 of those. I thought it would be more fun to do a pictures version with Halloween pictures. So I did 2 boards of that. I looked around for some Halloween clip art. Didn't find anything super great until I went to Shutterstock. I recently got a Shutterstock subscription. It was only $40 a year. I get 10 photos a month, and they're all really good quality. So whenever I'm looking for a photo and I'm browsing around on Google and I just can't find something that's good, good quality, I go to Shutterstock and usually I find something right away. They're all high resolution, vector graphics, and I found a couple Halloween themed clip art collections. One was like a kawaii version of all these little characters. So I grabbed that and it worked really well because I could just separate the images. They're all vector graphics, right? And I put each one of the images in a different box, also randomizing as I went. And then I found another black and white one, not so kawaii, and I did the same with that. So we ended up playing, I think, about 4 games. So we did both the pictures ones, we did those first, and that was a lot of fun. With the colored one, the color palette was quite limited. There was only about half a dozen colors. So I added another rule, namely that you can't say like green 2 or orange 3, just because I thought it would be too easy, and it's not really thematic, right? So I made that rule, and I think that was a good decision. That's also probably one reason why Codenames Pictures is all black and white. There's no color on it, to avoid that. And then with the purely black and white board, that wasn't a problem. We did run into a bit of confusion if you're allowed to use colors, if you're just talking about black and white images or just words. And I said yes, because then it becomes more of a matter of theme and it's not just the color that you're looking at. So like we had vampire and blood, you could say red for that, right? So that was a lot of fun. And we had 7 people participate, I believe, plus myself. Yeah, it was 6 plus me for most of the time, and then later on, a 7th person joined. So we had 2 teams, and they seemed to really enjoy it. The games were taking quite long, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know, because it wasn't because of any technical issues. It was just they were really putting a lot of thought into it, which I thought was cool. Oh, so logistically, how I ran it was I had the board set up in Adobe Illustrator, which is the graphics graphic design program that I like to use. I'm quite comfortable with it. I use it pretty much every day. And I had the board set up there, and then I had all the cards from Codenames. So like the spies, the blue spies, the red spies, the assassin, and then 4 bystanders. I had them all just copied and pasted around the board. And then whenever someone picked an image or a word, I would place the appropriate card on that. And that worked really well. For the captains, so the clue givers, what I did was I had the cards here. So I was just a neutral moderator, and I'm glad I did that because then I wouldn't be biased when a rules question came up, like are phantom and phantasm the same word? And I said no. If I were on a team, then maybe my decision would have been more biased towards what team I was on. But I don't believe those are, they are from the same root, but they don't contain the word within the word. They're in linguistics. They're what's called cognates. So it's not like if you have bleed and bleeding, like that's obviously the same word, right? But blood and bleed, well, yeah, that's a rules issue. If it comes to that, then you're probably just giving one clue, and if you're giving two, there's probably another one that's really closely tied to it. So it's good to have a neutral moderator to leave it up to that. But anyway, back to the game. So I shared my screen. We were using Facebook Messenger Rooms, which I'm moving away from because it's been buggy lately. Well, first of all, there's one big downside to Facebook Rooms. It's that you can't make a Facebook room with a page that you manage. So I want to use the Meeple Leaf page, which is where I post my events. But then I have to make the room on my personal page. So if someone sees the event through Meetup or just through a friend of a friend or whatever, then it's kind of awkward for them to go to my page, some guy that they don't know, and go to a room. It's also really hard to navigate. Some people have had trouble finding it. And to make matters worse, the past few weeks, Facebook Messenger Rooms hasn't even allowed me to open the room. There's like some kind of glitch. So when I go to start room as host, nothing happens. That's a big problem because then I have to start a new room, a fresh room that's not attached to the event, and then people are confused. Eventually they make it in, but it's just a lot of extra legwork that's not really necessary. The original reason I used Facebook Rooms was because people are already on Facebook. They don't have to go to any outside apps. But I asked around, and I'm switching to Discord for all my events because I realized that from personal experience that you can just open a Discord, like a server tab in your browser, and it works just like Discord, so you don't have to download the software. So that's good for people who aren't familiar with Discord. Those who are on Discord, it's even better. So the game was a lot of fun, and I'm thinking of doing more themed Codenames events. And I could easily do them for, bands or superheroes, movies, whatever people would find interesting, and I could do one of those a month. It doesn't take a whole lot of preparation. It's just a bit of graphic design. I'd probably still do 2 pictures ones, but since they take longer, I'd do a couple words ones as well. And just to cut down on the preparation time and also to add more variety. So I did have one suggestion to do bands next. So I think I might do one of these a month, and maybe at the end of the month as like a special event. I can do it on Saturday during the Among Us time because I really don't need to do any hands-on managing for that. People know the game and they can easily open a new game. So I have the event on there and people can chat in the Discord server, and I'll drop in once in a while. But I really don't feel that I need to be there to run Among Us, so I can do Codenames in the meantime. Speaking of themed games, there's actually a lot of different games that I could do. Well, specifically I found one yesterday, and that's Drawful. So I did not know this, but you can do a themed Drawful pack. Like you can make a list of your own words. So you can have inside jokes, you can have a themed word list, or you can just make your own random silly list of words and then run that. So I think I'll definitely try that again. Speaking of special events that I'm thinking of running, I did apply for the government grant again this year, and they're allowing virtual events. So I haven't heard back from them yet, but if I do get that grant, then I'll do some kind of online gaming event, and I'll do more themed stuff like that. So that'll probably be a good time to experiment with Drawful. In the meantime, I think I'll keep doing the code names and move it to Discord instead. Okay, that's how my Halloween-themed Codenames event went. Oh, and I did dress up as the assassin from Codenames. So I had like the black hat, the black mask, white shirt, black tie, black trench coat. And that was a lot of fun. And I had decorations in the background. So yeah, big success. Next week, I'm going to tell you a bit about my adventures with using TikTok. So this is the new social media platform. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thanks for listening, and happy gaming.